Okay, today is December the 20th, 2015, and we're watching the eastern U.S. water vapor loop. I wanted to do a video here quickly before this loop advances a few hours downstream, because we have some interesting features going on here that need to be documented. Number one is that we've got a developing storm here, and a front that's moving right through here on the jet stream. And when I was looking at this morning, I thought, wow, this is interesting. Right along here, I'm seeing what looks like a blast pattern. Okay, so I went over to the or rather the infrared loop right here, and I'm seeing the same thing, and I see an opening right here, that could be causing this blast pattern right along here, that flank of the storm front. So we go back to the water vapor loop once again, and that sure looks like a blast pattern right there. And there's a shock wave, that a roll cloud, if you want to call it that. I just call it this is just a blast pattern, a shock wave from probably a microwave blast. Now, if we look at this in the visible light mode, we can see some features here. We have a right here, right there where the pen tip is following it, we have a shock wave right there. And that precedes this blast pattern. And we also have another shock wave right here in this area. This is where the blast apparently took place. We have a big opening here. Let's just watch this, and we can see there's a radial shaped cloud, a roll cloud, I guess you can call it, or I just call it a blast wave from this is probably a microwave blast right here, and they're going to destroy a storm chance for this next week, which is a Christmas week, of course, and there's many hundreds, if not thousands, of flights that would be affected if this storm was left alone right here to develop and bring a lot of snow and crappy weather to the northeast. So it makes a lot of sense that they would hit the middle of this with some microwave, a coherent microwave, and destroy the development of this system as it moves into the northeast. And so we do see a blast pattern. There's no question about that. We have a roll cloud right out here, even in the water vapor loop. You can see it right there where the pen tip is following right there. If you go to the rainbow loop, right here, right there. Let's just watch it a couple of times. We have this tremendous blast pattern, and then there's a hole that develops right here, and we can actually see a circular shaped right here moving out as that fast moving system advances up towards the northeast. So that's quite interesting. I wanted to share this before too much time went by, because that right there is evidence of man-made weather manipulation right there. that is developed from instantaneous high pressure being developed right in here from a microwave blast, most likely. This is a very large area that they've hit, but that's probably done with microwave. It generates such high temperatures that we have expanding water vapor, and we get these shock waves that move outward, and that's what we're seeing here. And also right in the center of this, we can see we have a general flow that's moving to the northeast, and yet we have a very strong, powerful shock wave moving completely perpendicular to that general movement to the northeast. Not only down here, but right up here. And then we have this huge blast pattern, which we see in the core of hurricanes when they're destroying hurricanes. If you look at my videos going back into July and August, just pick any one of those days in July and August, and you'll hit probably a hurricane that was in the Pacific, and they're targeting the cores of those hurricanes with microwaves, and we see these blast patterns all the time. And we see a large hole develop. So anyhow, that's it. Let's go over this is the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop, and we can see that the moisture field is now moving into Southern California. But the problem is that we've got a lot of chemtrails over the tops of these clouds, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. You can see a lot of moisture moving right into Southern California, pardon me. And so we should be having rain. There's a lot of stormy looking clouds, but above those clouds is the chemtrails. All right, let's look at the jet stream. We still have an interruption right here, and we'll take a look at that here in a second again. But this is now moving further south into California, which is partially depicted there. Okay, let's look at the, this is the western U.S. map. We can get a close-up, better view of what's happening here. You can see a lot of weather moving into the area here in LA. We should be having rain. There's a lot of stormy looking clouds, but there's so much chemtrails going on over the top, aerosol spraying being sprayed all through here, that we're just not going to have rain. There's no lift being allowed. The chemtrails are putting an inversion layer above all this weather, and it will just prevent the lift, and we won't get any rain. Now I hope I'm wrong about this, but the pattern is that when they spray over the tops of these clouds, we don't get rain. Now they've been doing this repeatedly. We did get a little rain yesterday, 5/16 of an inch. I kept saying 5/8 in my video, but it was actually 5/16, just a little over a quarter inch. Okay. All right, let's look at the MODIS today. That shows us all the chemtrail activity going on. Here is the LA area right here. We can see all the chemtrail crap right here, this off-white, dirty looking white. That's chemtrail mix. Over here we have real clouds. The white, brilliant white, is always the genuine clouds. The fake stuff, chemtrails, is all this stuff. Now today we have two different pictures that were taken that were spliced together. One of these was taken earlier than the other one, and we can see that at one point there was quite a bit of chemtrailing going on earlier today. We can just pan around a little bit. You can see quite a bit of chemtrail mix over the top of these clouds. Here we have some smattering of clouds here, and a lot of chemtrails all through here, as you can see. And that, look at these streaks here. They're all over the place. Okay. All right, so that's what's going on today, December the 20th, offshore of California. We've got multiple chances and opportunities for rain, and these criminals are stopping our rain. And then it's being reported, in the Huffington Post. I'm glad one of our viewers posted an interesting piece of information about the Huffington Post. And they're science writers, or quote science writers, who are members of the FEMA and so forth. And they're writing about how El Nino may be a dangerous prospect for California and all the rest of it. So I'm going to try to find that article, and we'll do a separate video on that. This fellow explains that it's a thinly veiled attempt to sell flood insurance. In the event that these transmitters were turned off and they were allowing a lot of weather to move in, we might see some severe flooding, which I'm sure we would. But if they have the power to stop this rain, they certainly have the power to regulate it, to throttle it back. And we've seen that all summer long with these hurricanes and different things. They can dial it back and allow some rain in. And that's what they need to learn how to do with all our fancy equipment, is to learn how to get some rain into this place without washing everything away. All right, let's look at this is the Pacific Surface Analysis map. We have this area of perpetual high pressure down here, right off the coast of California. We have a cold front that's been interrupted by numerous HAARP transmitter targets. We have a warm front here, warm front there, and an occluded front here. And we have a developing gale listed out here, and we've got storms all through the Aleutian Island area. Okay, let's look. Let's see here. So that's pretty much it. Let's look at the West Coast once again. We can see we've got a transmitter here. got this jet stream flow, and that this area of dry air, this channel, this electronic wall, this is being set up by a phased array radar, and that is done deliberately to keep these storm fronts from getting mixed in with the jet stream flow, which is heading right into California right now. So they are keeping these two moisture fields separated with this dark area, and that's all done with radar phased array. Very directional, highly directional. They heat the atmosphere through here, and that keeps these two separated. Also, we have high pressure out here, obviously, and a channel right here moving right through Baja and part of Southern California. We can see right here now over Southern California, we have a clearing developing right there where the pen tip is, and that will serve to modulate this rain back, dial it back so we don't get any. There's no forecast for rain today, but we'll certainly do an update if any rain falls. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and we'll do an update later. All right.